In this presentation, I'm analyzing the overarm throw, a fundamental skill in many sports like baseball or cricket. My outcome variable of interest is the ball release velocity. This is our main focus. This will be measured in meters per second. The change that I have implemented is going to be a longer stride with the front foot during the throw. Based on my hypothesis that a longer stride will allow for greater momentum transfer and potentially improve the velocity at release. To collect my data, I used a high quality video setup. The task involved the participant taking one step between cones set 2 meters apart before performing a maximal effort overarm throw. The video was captured at 250 frames per second, which allowed me to analyze key positions in the throw in the detail. Because the footage was recorded outdoors in good lighting, I used a low shutter speed to ensure smooth and clear capture of the fast motion. This setup enabled accurate observations of the throw mechanics, including timing of the stride, the trunk rotation, and the velocity, the release velocity. Here are the screenshots of my participant performing the overarm throw. On the left is the natural technique before any mechanical adjustment. On the right is the same participant applying the mechanical change, a longer foot stride. As you can see, it's in Canova and there is a longer stride in the right photo. In both videos, I analyzed the same phase of movement leading up to the ball release. You can see in the right image that the stride is clearly lengthened, creating more separation between the back foot and the front foot. This increase in base of support was intended to allow more time and space for the hip and trunk rotation before the release of the ball. The results are shown here in this graph for the throw. The y-axis shows the release velocity in meters per second. Before the change, the participant's release velocity was 18.79 meters per second. After implementing the longer stride, the velocity has dropped to 15.92 meters per second. Although this outcome was unexpected, it does highlight an important point. Despite a theoretically beneficial change, performance decreased. This may be because our participant focused too much on the new technique rather than throwing with full power, possibly throwing at 75 to 80%. It is also possible that the change distributed their natural rhythm or timing. This is critical to the coordination of the effective overarm throw. These are some factors that could have contributed. The first biomechanical concept is the transfer of movement. This principle states that maximum velocity is achieved when body segments are activated in a coordinated sequence from larger to smaller segments. So, for example, in my example, from the legs to the hips to the trunk to the arm to the hand. In the overarm throw, the stride plays a critical role in initiating this kinetic chain. The longer stride has the potential to increase the range of motion and allow better timing of segmental activation. However, for my participant, the timing may have been disrupted due to unfamiliarity with the movement change, which I believe may have limited the contribution of distal segments like the wrist and the fingers, so ultimately reducing the ball's release velocity. This could have been part of the reason. The second biomechanical concept is Newton's second law. Everyone knows that force equals mass times acceleration, as referenced in Alphion's 2004 book, Throwing. This law tells us that increasing the force applied to an object will increase its acceleration, provided the mass remains constant. In the context of throwing, greater muscular force applied through the kinetic chain should increase the acceleration of the ball, resulting in a faster ball release velocity, which is what we're hoping for here. For my participant, despite using that longer stride, the actual force apply may have decreased. As said before, this could have been because the attention was diverted to continuously implementing the change rather than generating maximum force. As a result, the acceleration and therefore velocity of the ball, as shown in my graph, decreased. The third biomechanical concept is the base of support and stability. A wider stance, in this case, a longer stride, theoretically enhances stability and provides a stronger foundation for force generation. This is what is theoretically correct. This stable base can improve trunk rotation and energy transfer when throwing. However, if the stride is too long or not practiced, it can cause a lot of dynamic balance, especially during a high speed actions like a throw. It's very quick and it's very all the time. For my participant, the longer stride may have unintentionally disrupted their balance, causing a breakdown in coordination and power at the release phase, leading to its reduction in ball release velocity.